Hello, welcome back to the channel. I am currently reviewing all of Paul McCartney's post-Beatles albums. I may even throw in a couple that aren't Paul McCartney. Mike McGear. In this video I will be looking at McCartney's 1971 release, Wildlife, his first album with his brand new band, Wings. So before this album, Paul McCartney released McCartney, I've reviewed that, and Ram, I have reviewed that also. Ram, by the way, currently at the top spot. Spoiler, I don't think it's going to be beaten. So really this series is more about what's going to be number 2. McCartney listens to his critics far too much. Ram wasn't critically acclaimed. People did like it, don't get me wrong, but yeah, he just listens to the critics far too much. Going into this album, Paul still had all the Beatles lawsuit stuff going on, but he also had quite an attacking track by John Lennon called How Do You Sleep, which was Lennon's response to Too Many People. He had a lot going on. McCartney regarded Ram as his first proper solo album. His words, not mine. And when it was panned, he was like, So it's time to make a band. Get back into banding. Is that a word? The formation of Wings was both intuitive and impulsive. First member to join, fair to say, was Linda. At this point, Linda was Paul's most important collaborator. She wrote Ram with him. Linda was still learning keyboards, harmonies, but Paul insisted that she was an important part of the group. This did cause problems down the line, but we'll come to that when we come to that. Next came Denny Sywell, who had previously drummed on Ram's. Paul flew Denny, and I believe his missus, could be wrong, over to Scotland and gave him the pitch. Denny obviously agreed, but there was no contract. It was all like a handshake. Paul was going to be paying him out of his own pocket. Guitarist Denny Lane was added soon after. Paul knew Denny from his Beatles days, and like Denny was with the Moody Blues. Paul admired Denny Lane a lot, and Denny trusted Paul enough to join Wings again without any paperwork. He couldn't have a contract because he was contracted to Capitol Records as a solo artist. As a result, his contributions were mostly uncredited, and any payments, it all had to be done very hush-ish, under the table kind of thing. Financially, Wings was backed entirely by Paul. He fronted all the costs and took charge of the business and the creative leadership. He wanted a new band of equals, but let's make no mistake, this was Paul's band. Oh, I forgot to mention, the name Wings. It came from the birth of Paul's daughter Stella. It was quite a traumatic birth, apparently. And Paul just envisioned an angel with wings, and that's where that came from. Before I review each song, I had a decision to make, and that was, so when this was released, it was released as an 8-track album, but with 2 secret tracks. As you can see here, oh, where are they? There's only 8 listed, okay? But these days, and even on iTunes, they mention the links. So the decision I had to make is, do I review the links? And that answer was yes. Thanks for listening. Track 1, Mumbo, recorded spontaneously. I say spontaneously because the McCartney legacy does point out that the red light would have been on in the studio. So when Paul yelled, "Take it, Tony," he would have already known it was being taken. But let's just go with it. This song has sort of grown on me. I don't think it's the complete waste of time that I used to think it was. Um, I do like the bow 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 bow. That wasn't a guitar. That was me from my mouth. The vocals, surprise, surprise, are improvised, more like just scatting than actual real words. I do prefer the Wings Over Europe live version of this because there's lyrics to it. So the song kind of lacks structure and refinement. Definitely, apparently it was just one take. Um, it is a grower, but I'm not a big fan of it. Sorry. Track 2, Bip Bop. This is a tricky one. Paul McCartney has repeatedly been quoted as saying it's the worst song he's ever written. Um, I I like the melody. I like the guitar playing. It goes on far too long. He wrote the basic guitar riff and the lyrics as just a lark, something to keep the children entertained, and but it's very hypnotic. I am confused about this one, but it does go on far too long. That I am sure of. Track 3, Love is Strange. This is a cover version of Mickey and Sylvia's 1957 hit. Paul was writing a song and he kind of went, "Oh, this sounds like something else. What is this? What does this sound like?" They figured out it was Love is Strange and decided to do a cover. The tempo is slowed dramatically from the original song. I've got to be honest, this is a song that when it came... I've listened to this album a lot recently because I've never really given it a chance, and I gave it a chance. This song, when I hear it, I go, oh, God. And it is everything in me. Every ounce of strength I've got to not skip it. I find it boring. This was considered as a single, but it was passed over. One thing I am liking so far on this album, not just this track, but is Linda's vocals. Her and McCartney, her and Paul, let's call him by his first name, James. Linda and Paul's vocals are so nice together. I did learn something though the other day from the McCartney Legacy book, which I'd forgotten. I'm rereading it. When they were performing live, Linda's vocals, let's say, were sometimes a tad flat, and so they would pre-record them and put them on the Mellotron. And so then, if she was singing flat, Paul would just go, Mellotron for this one. Anyway, talking of songs that I would skip. Track 4, Wildlife. Now, this is a tricky one because Wildlife is very atmospheric, very mood building, but again, it goes on far too long. I do generally think if this song was shorter, then I would like it more. I love the bit towards the end of the song, the whatever happened to, that should have come in way sooner. But as it stands, it's a long journey just to get to a bit that I like, and therefore I don't like it. Side 2 of the album opens up with Some People Never Know. For this video, it's track 5. I enjoy this song's melody. Again, I enjoy Linda's harmonising on this track. It's just far too long. What I will say I do like is that I feel like you get a bit of a glimpse of what Wings could become, because the back half of this song is Wings. That's when I think Wings, this is what I think of as Wings. But I don't like the song, it's too long. Track 6, I Am Your Singer. This song is a lovely duet between Paul and Linda. It's very heartfelt. You are my love, you are my song. It's nice and short. And the melody is a real earworm. So I think I like this one. Oh my god. Track 7, Bit Bop Link. Um, it seems very. It seems very intricate what he's doing, and it sounds clever almost, but all sounds, to me anyway, sounds very messy, and I don't like it. I mean, don't get me wrong, I couldn't play that, but I just don't like it, and I like bit bop ish, but this I was just like, okay, well done, that's fancy, not for me. Track 8, Tomorrow. This song was given a hell of a lot more polish than the other songs, and you can bloody tell. And Paul's melody on this is brilliant. Linda's harmonising, brilliant. The whole band is playing extremely well. Um, the only problem I have with this song is that I wouldn't recommend it to somebody to listen to. Oh, you don't like Paul McCartney? Listen to this. I'd never say listen to this for Tomorrow, but it's possible. I think it might be the best song on the album, maybe. Or is that track 9, Dear Friend, Paul's answer to How Do You Sleep by John Lennon? Paul here is obviously just, hey, let's calm down. This is getting crazy. Is it a good... I've been toying with this. Is it actually a good song, or are we putting more importance on it because of the whole feud? I don't think it's as great as its stature currently is. Again, too long. Sounds great. It's more polished than the rest of the album, maybe. I kind of get bored of it. Everything sounds great on it. I just find it quite boring. Don't get me wrong, it sounds nice. And if you like this song, then I'm not saying you're wrong. No, I'm not saying you're wrong. But yeah, it's just not for me. After this, as far as I'm aware, there was no like retort from John Lennon. Nothing was publicly said about it. I think Lennon steered his venom towards Klein, didn't he? Anyway, track 10 and closing the album is Mumbo Link. It's nothing. I mean, I probably shouldn't be reviewing it, but it's nothing. But it does bookend the album quite nicely. There you go. I said something nice. When Wildlife was released in December 1971, the critics were harsh. The British music press accused McCartney of being inept and self-indulgent. Melody Maker, I've got some quotes here. Melody Maker wrote that it sounded like a group of beginners jamming in a garage. Rolling Stone called it inept, and the Village Voice dismissed it as a failure. Many critics targeted Linda, saying that her lack of experience really dragged the album down. She must have... I mean, come on, guys. At least she's doing it. Jeez. Others criticised the lyrics, especially Bit Bop and I Am Your Singer. Other critics did praise it, though, especially Tomorrow. They said it was like a return to form for McCartney. And also Dear Friend. The rest of the Beatles remains largely quiet about this album. George was doing his concert for Bangladesh at the time, so he was way too busy. Commercially, the album debuted at 11 in the UK and 10 in the US. Doesn't sound bad, right? But you know, it was just below the expectations of a former Beatle. So yeah, is it that great, really? So let's score the album. I score my albums a little bit differently. I go by how many tracks there are. I'm not one of these people that just score everything out of 10. How boring. Anyway, there's 10 tracks on this, so I'll be scoring it out of 10. I give this album 3 out of 10. It's not a great album. When I decided many years ago that I was going to buy all of McCartney's albums on vinyl, this was the album I most hated buying. Hated it. For me, the best song on the album is Tomorrow. Please let me know in the comments which you think is the best song on the album. Maybe I'm completely wrong, but I'm not completely wrong. It's my opinion, isn't it? But let me know your let me know your opinion. What's your favourite song? Let me know in the comments. I always reply because I'm a bloody good guy. So, Wildlife is perhaps Paul McCartney's most misunderstood album. I mean, I don't get it. It's not polished and it doesn't try to be. It's basically the start of a band getting to know each other. Should he have put that to vinyl? Probably not. Well, I'd say no. And I know that there's those of you out there that love this album, and I'm not taking that away from you. How could I? But yeah, it's just not for me. But here's one thing I will say about Wildlife, and it does sound contradictory maybe. It's crucial. It's crucial to the early post-Beatles Paul McCartney story. This album failed at the time, but I guess it dared to fail. Again, like I said earlier, McCartney is just listening to critics far too much. Ram was a completely fine album. So he just completely went the other way, and then that failed. He must have felt terrible at the time. Probably thought he couldn't do any right. But there you go. Let me know what Wildlife means to you. Maybe, you grew up with it and you love it. So let me know in the comments what it means to you. If you've made it this far, if you like my stupid reviews, please do like and subscribe if you have not done. Might as well. Thank you very much for watching. I will see you in the next one. Red Rose Speedway, right? Do you like that? Don't let me know yet. You can let me know in the next video, innit? We're done, by the way. I'm just waiting for you to go. No rush. I've got things to do. Leave.